Chapter 31. Tell me. How do you want to die? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes. We meet again. I don't know, what should I call this young master? After coming back to his senses, Huan Yinhua said softly with a calm face. Yi Chen. Shrugging, Yi Chen replied casually. Mr. Yi, where is your cute little kitten? After blinking, Huan Yinhua asked. Before this, she had always tried her best to play the role of the arrogant and domineering young lady, which was correct, but she really liked Xiaoqi. The first time she saw Xiaoqi, she fell in love with this little kitten. In Xiaoqi's body, she felt a feeling that she couldn't help but feel close to it. Go to sleep. Spreading his hands, Yi Chen replied. Miss, let's investigate the deaths of the 36 people from Wuhan, right? Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain this matter to the thief sect. At this moment, Lin Yang interrupted the conversation between the two. There was also a flash of coldness in his eyes. All right. After hesitating for a moment, Huan Yinhua nodded. She also secretly decided in her heart that once she found something wrong, she must stop Lin Yang. Even if you break your skin, you won't hesitate. She didn't have any evidence of Lin Yang's evil deeds. However, she already had many clues pointing to Lin Yang. She didn't want another innocent person to die because of Lin Yang. Finally, under the leadership of Lin Yang, Yi Chen and Little Skull came to a small courtyard. Huan Yinhua didn't come with him because he had to deal with some matters in the city lord's palace. Lock the door, no one is allowed in without my permission, Lin Yang ordered with a wave of his hand. Yes, Mr. Butler. After hearing his words, a group of guards said in unison. Immediately, they walked out, locked the door, and guarded the entrance to the yard. Seeing this, Yi Chen grinned. Is this a plan to show off? TSK. How interesting. Marvin, right? You won't be able to laugh anymore. Lin Yang sneered, and a ferocious smile appeared on his face. The next moment, he directly threw a formation disc. The formation instantly enveloped Yi Chen and the little skeleton. This is the top level 4 formation, the ultimate formation. If you don't move, it will be an ordinary formation that will only trap people. As long as you move, there is a risk of falling from the nascent soul stage. I hope you don't make a mistake. Looking at Yi Chen, Lin Yang said with a smile. A confident smile also appeared on his face. In Lin Yang's view, everything is under his control. However, what he didn't expect was that both Yi Chen and the little skeleton were very calm. When he didn't notice, the sarcasm in Yi Chen's eyes flashed away. The killing array. Is it awesome? As long as he is willing, he can break this formation in an instant. There is no difficulty at all. Who makes him a genius array mage? Especially, after memorizing everything in Jinchuan, his understanding of the Tao has already reached an incredible level. There are many formations that he cannot arrange, but his attainments in the formations are beyond the reach of most formation masters. The little skeleton didn't react much because of Yi Chen. The idea is also very simple. Yi Chen wasn't even worried, so what did he have to worry about? This guy must have some trump cards. Besides, the worst I can do is teach him how to break the formation. It's just a level 4 formation. What do you want to do? Looking at Lin Yang, Yi Chen pretended to be angry and said. What do you want to do? Snort. In Evil Spirit City, anyone who offends me will die. You are dead. After giving Yi Chen a sinister look, Lin Yang said murderously. Next, what do I ask you and what do you answer, so that you still have a chance to survive? When the conversation changed, Lin Yang said something else. Just ask. After taking a deep breath, Yi Chen gritted his teeth and said. He looked very unconvinced. Damn it. Talent. Yi Chen, this kid, never thought he could be so good at pretending. Looking up at Yi Chen, the little skeleton was amazed in his heart. Based on its understanding of Yi Chen, this guy is a lawless lord. Will he be afraid? Are you kidding me? No need to think about it, you all know this is impossible. Seeing Yi Chen's reaction, Lin Yang showed a happy smile on his face. He loves the feeling of being in control. Did you steal our space rings? Staring into Yi Chen's eyes, Lin Yang asked with a gloomy face. Yes. After sighing, Yi Chen said despondently. Really? Suddenly, Lin Yang's expression changed drastically, however, his expression soon returned to normal. This kid is trapped by himself, what if he gets his own space ring? So what if you master those things? Snort. How did you kill Hu Han-san and the others? Immediately afterwards, Lin Yang asked again. When he talked about this issue, his body couldn't help but become tense. Even Hu Han-san and the others were killed, so I had to be more cautious. This is why he used the formation to trap Yi Chen and the little skeleton in the first place. Well, strictly speaking, they were killed by the formation. You know the psychedelic formation? They were exhausted and I just killed them. Spreading his hands, Yi Chen answered casually. Didn't they tell you that they were from the thief sect? Lin Yang frowned and asked with his pupils shrinking slightly. He found that he could not see through the boy in front of him more and more. Psychedelic formation. This is a top-level 4th-level formation. Moreover, even a 5th-level formation master may not be able to arrange it. This kid in front of him may have a complicated origin. Thinking of this, Lin Yang felt a tricky feeling in his heart. It can even be said that it is difficult to get off the tiger. Kill Yi Chen. He is worried about the revenge of the people behind Yi Chen. Don't kill. He is a little uneasy. I said it. But, so what? If they don't die, who will? Perhaps because he felt tired, Yi Chen simply sat on the ground, took out the wine pot and drank a sip of wine, and then said carelessly, hearing Yi Chen's words and seeing his actions, Lin Yang's face was full of black lines. This kid, is there something wrong with his brain? He hasn't figured out the situation yet, right? Now, he is a prisoner. In addition, a strong dragon cannot suppress a local snake. He even dares to offend the thief sect. Humph. Tell me. How do you want to die? Stretching himself, Yi Chen looked at Lin Yang and said seriously. Yi Chen, I'm telling you. This is your style. Aren't you tired of pretending for so long? Looking at Yi Chen, the little skeleton complained. Chapter 32. What did you say? Speak louder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Yi Chen and the little skeleton singing the same tune, Lin Yang almost went berserk. Stinky boy. Do you really want to die? Believe it or not, I'll let this formation kill you. Pointing at Yi Chen, Lin Yang said with murderous intent. Who are you trying to scare? Also, I hate people pointing their fingers at me. After that, Yi Chen stood up lazily, he waved his hand casually, and the killing formation was broken in an instant. The formation plate in Lin Yang's hand also broke into pieces. The next moment, Yi Chen grabbed Lin Yang's neck with his right hand and lifted him up. Without even a chance to react, Lin Yang's cultivation was inexplicably sealed. What did you say? Louder. Hooking his ears with his left hand, Yi Chen said with a smile. On the side, the flames in the depths of the little skeleton's eye socket stopped beating. What the hell? He broke a top-level 4th-level formation in an instant. Is this guy really a formation genius? Looking at Yi Chen's back, the little skeleton was shocked. Wait. In an instant, it unconsciously thought of something in its heart. This kid said that he had comprehended 3 realms of mind. Is this true? Also, he said that he was the first demon in the history of Dao Sect. Is this true? Thinking of this, the little skeleton was a little bit unsettled. Is this kid still a human? He can comprehend 3 realms of mind without practicing all day. Can he still be the first demon in the history of Dao Sect? Hiss. Terrible. It's really terrible. I actually made a mistake. You. Looking at Yi Chen, Lin Yang widened his eyes. At this moment, his brain was also blank. Everything was inexplicably out of control. This really caught him off guard. Suddenly, the door of the yard was knocked open. A person broke in. Huang Yinhuo. She felt something was wrong and rushed over immediately. However, when she saw the scene in front of her, Huang Yinhuo's eyes widened. This? It's a little different from what she thought. Originally, she learned that Lin Yang asked his men to guard outside to persecute Yi Chen. But now this is? Suddenly, Huang Yinhuo felt that her brain was not enough. Huang Yinhuo, you are here. Just in time. Yi Chen grinned after looking at Huang Yinhua sideways, then, he threw out a bunch of things. It was Lin Yang's letters and other things. After looking at Yi Chen in confusion, Huang Yinhua still took the things Yi Chen threw out, then, he looked down. Lin Yang in Yi Chen's hand showed a mixture of shock and anger on his face. His eyes were full of fear and despair. Lin Yang's heart was also full of regret. If he had known this, he would never have provoked Yi Chen. If I hadn't provoked Yi Chen, there wouldn't be so many problems. Or, if I hadn't brought him to the city lord's mansion today, it wouldn't have been like this. Maybe, I could still wait until that adult arrived, but now. This resume is a mistake that will be regretted forever. Hee. Lin Yang. Who told you to call Yi Chen a stinky boy? He hates people calling him with a nickname the most. If you don't call him that, maybe he will play with you. Why bother? Without looking at Lin Yang, the little skeleton laughed gloatingly. Hearing what the little skeleton said, Lin Yang almost vomited blood in anger. This is pitfall. If you don't speak, no one will think you are dumb. Rolling his eyes, Yi Chen glared at the little skeleton unhappily. Lin Yang, you really deserve to die. After quickly looking at the things in his hand, Huang Yinhua was so angry that she trembled all over. Her face was also full of murderous intent. This Lin Yang is simply too numerous to list. Do all the bad things. Want to poison your parents? Even want to poison the entire evil spirit city? The winner is the king, the loser is the bandit. Kill or chop it up as you like. Looking at Huang Yinhua calmly, Lin Yang laughed at himself. I can't believe it. I've worked hard for most of my life, and I'm about to succeed in sitting on the throne of the city lord. I didn't expect that I would fail in the end. It was all because of a teenager. Looking up at the sky, Lin Yang laughed wildly. His laughter was full of sadness, despair, and unwillingness. And overwhelming hatred. The next moment, Lin Yang bled from all 7 orifices, and instantly turned into a corpse. Take poison to commit suicide? No sense. Throwing away Lin Yang's body with disdain, Yi Chen curled his lips unhappily. Mr. Yi, thank you for this time. Looking at Lin Yang's body and then at Yi Chen, Huang Yinhua said with gratitude. Don't thank me in a hurry. The master of the thief sect is probably coming soon, but I don't know what realm he is in. Shaking his head, Yi Chen frowned and said. If he is too strong, I can only run away. After taking a sip of wine, Yi Chen said confidently. Puchi. Hearing Yi Chen's words, Huang Yinhua was immediately amused. Run away. Can such words be said casually? If it were anyone else, he would probably say a lot of high-sounding words to win his favor, right? Master Yi is really good at joking. However, you can rest assured. The formation of the city lord's mansion can still block some masters. After saying that, Huang Yinhua threw a red formation talisman cleanly. In an instant, the entire city lord's palace was enveloped by a huge formation. Interesting. After muttering to himself, Yi Chen couldn't help but narrow his eyes. Formation talisman. Only formations above level 6 will use formation symbols. This is actually a level 6 defense formation. This level of formation is enough to block a master in the transformation stage. The reason why Lin Yang hasn't taken action against Huang Yinhua for so long is because he has this concern, right? Next, I will report these things to the Empire. After taking a deep breath, Huang Yinhua said with a serious face. Her eyes fell on the evidence in front of her. In that case, I'm relieved. Farewell. See you later. Yi Chen nodded slightly and smiled. Originally, he was planning to help Evil Spirit City, now it seems that it is no longer needed. I still underestimated the energy of a city. Walk. Boy, can you leave? How dare you ruin my plan? Suddenly, a chilling laughter came from the sky. I saw a thin, white-haired old man wearing a white robe, with pointed ears and monkey cheeks, appearing in the sky. Seeing the figure in the air, Yi Chen couldn't help but frown. A master in the transformation stage. In his heart, he was about to start cursing her. Does Lin Yang, a mere Lin Yang, need to send such a master here? Could it be that the other party is the master of the thief sect? Generally speaking, among the second-rate forces, the strongest is in the god transformation stage. Or someone. Chapter 33 Supreme Treasure. The first divine sword in the immortal cultivation world. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Not only Yi Chen, Huang Yinua's face also changed slightly, the master of the spiritualization stage. It is true that the formation of the City Lord's mansion can block masters of the spiritualization stage. However, it seems that the other party is confident. Would he not be prepared at all? What a waste! Who is more likely to cause trouble than to accomplish things? After taking a look at Lin Yang's body, the white-haired old man said another sentence. Are you Ding Qianxiu, the deputy leader of the thief sect? Looking up at the white-haired old man with pointed ears and monkey cheeks in the air, Huang Yinua asked in doubt. Beside Huang Yinua, Yi Chen couldn't help but narrow his eyes. The deputy leader of the thief sect is in the early stage of the second heaven of the spiritualization stage. How strong is the leader? It's really interesting. Yes. It's me. Hee. Nodding, the white-haired old man in the air laughed grimly. Are you the one who colluded with Lin Yang? Want to annex the City Lord's mansion? The Empire will not let you go. With a cold snort, Huang Yinua said indignantly. How naive. If there is no one in the Empire, do you think our thieves would dare to do this? Looking at Huang Yinua, Ding Qianxiu said sarcastically. Suddenly, Huang Yinua was silent, and her face turned pale, because she thought of Lin Yang's letters and animal skin books. Everything is true. This involves the top leaders of the Empire. How could this be? Evil Spirit City is just a small border town. Anyway, you are all going to die, and I am not afraid to tell you. That Lord wants to control the Evil Spirit City for the treasure of the Evil Spirit Forest. It is rumored that the Evil Spirit Forest hides supreme treasures, burying the first sword of the immortal world. And as he spoke, Ding Qianxiu's old face was full of greed. His eyes were also full of blazing light. What he didn't realize was that when he said this, the little skeleton next to Yi Chen seemed to react a little strangely. The flames in his eyes stopped beating. It was about to mock Ding Qianxiu, but it shut up. Even Huang Yinua didn't notice the little skeleton's strangeness, but someone noticed it. Yi Chen. The treasure of the Evil Spirit Forest. The first magic sword in the world of cultivation. Coupled with the reaction of the little skeleton, Yi Chen had a bold guess in his heart. Could it be? Subconsciously, he looked back at the giant sword on his back. Forget it, you don't understand even if I say it. After talking about the first magic sword in the world of cultivation, Ding Qianxiu, who was about to continue, suddenly changed his words. A hidden expression of fear suddenly appeared on his face. Seeing this, Yi Chen couldn't help but secretly curious in his heart. What on earth could make people so afraid? Boy, let's send you on your way first. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame yourself for meddling in other people's business and ruining our plan. After that, Ding Qianxiu looked at Yi Chen murderously. What a good trick. They actually set up a level 6 concealment array outside the City Lord's mansion's defense array. Ding Qianxiu, are you worried that other people will know that you have been to the City Lord's mansion? Looking at Ding Qianxiu with a half-smile, Yi Chen grinned. Good vision. But you still have to die. Looking at Yi Chen in surprise, Ding Qianxiu sneered. Really? I don't believe it. Said lightly. Yi Chen threw out a few array plates. The next moment, something incredible happened. Several array plates actually passed through the defense array and fell around Ding Qianxiu. Instantly, several array plates exploded. The array of the City Lord's mansion actually had cracks, but it quickly returned to normal, and above Ding Qianxiu, a hole was blown out of an array. It suddenly became fragmented. Ding Qianxiu's figure also slowly appeared. You are so cruel. You little brat. You wait for me. Glancing at Yi Chen with hatred, Ding Qianxiu flew away. If he stayed any longer, his figure would be completely exposed. When the news of his attack on the City Lord's mansion spreads, that adult might not be able to protect him. Openly attacking the City Lord's mansion. Will the Empire let him go? He actually ran away. What a pity. I wasted several level 5 arrays. Sighing and shaking his head, Yi Chen said with a painful look on his face. Yi Chen, just be content. A few level 5 arrays broke someone's level 6 array. what else do you want? Looking up at Yi Chen, the little skeleton said unhappily. At this moment, it was shocked, it understood. Yi Chen is a genius in array formation. Even more evil than he imagined. Detonate several level 5 arrays, use the power of their explosion to break the structural balance of the level 6 array, and destroy the level 6 array. What a genius idea. This is the first time it has seen someone break a formation like this. Generally speaking, isn't it always done by force, or in an orderly and methodical way? But this guy? TSK. Wait. You're not going to fight him head-on, are you? As if thinking of something, the little skeleton asked in surprise. I do have this idea. But let's forget it after thinking about it. Fighting is so tiring, isn't it? Nodding gently, Yi Chen said calmly. Hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton felt suffocated. Jindan stage, want to fight against the Huashan stage head-on? Is this kid still a human? The key is that it seems that he really has this idea. It knows that many monsters can fight across levels, but fighting across a large realm? It is really the first time it has heard of it. It doesn't know what to say about this. The most incredible thing is that he gave up this idea not because of fear, but simply because of laziness. Is this still a human? The conversation between Yi Chen and the little skeleton has already made Huang Yinhua completely confused. The conversation between one person and one skeleton has completely subverted her cognition. Several level 5 arrays broke a level 6 array. Master Yi plans to fight Ding Qinqiu head-on. This. Huang Yinhua, goodbye, see you later. The next moment, Huang Yinhua's thoughts were pulled back to reality by Yi Chen's voice. I saw that Yi Chen had already flown away with the little skeleton in one hand. Mr. Yi, I haven't thanked you properly yet. You. Looking at Yi Chen's back, Huang Yinhua shouted loudly. Unfortunately, there was no trace of Yi Chen. When Yi Chen appeared again, he was already outside the city. Yi Chen, why did you leave so soon? Isn't it nice to stay in the evil spirit city? Who knows, we can get a lot of benefits. Looking up at Yi Chen, the little skeleton couldn't help but complain. The matter of the evil spirit city has been resolved, why not leave? Rolling his eyes, Yi Chen retorted unhappily. Chapter 34, A Ruthless Man Who Doesn't Talk Much. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is the matter resolved? What's the meaning? Aren't there still people from the thief sect? And the high-level officials of the empire behind Evil Spirit City? They haven't solved it yet. How did this matter end? Looking at Yi Chen, the little skeleton asked a little puzzlingly. In its opinion, this matter has just begun, right? Finish? It's still very early. It's nothing. What that idiot Ding Qinqiu said just now was recorded by me with a recording stone, and then it was transmitted to the imperial capital behind them with the help of Evil Spirit City's formation. Do you think the empire behind them will let the thieves go? And that so-called big shot? Shrugging his shoulders, Yi Chen said calmly. Hiss. After hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton couldn't help but take a breath of air. What does it mean to be ruthless and not talkative? That's it. Little skeleton has reason to believe that the empire behind Evil Spirit City knows about this matter. The first one I won't let go of is definitely the thief sect. As for whether the big shot can be found out, that's not known. To a certain extent, Yi Chen has indeed solved the problem from the root. Evil Spirit City is safe. What I'm more interested in right now is the supreme treasure of the Evil Spirit Forest, and the #1 divine sword in the world of immortality. Little skeleton, I don't know. When the conversation changed, Yi Chen looked at the little skeleton with a half-smile. Don't ask me, I don't know anything. Spreading his hands, the little skeleton said calmly. Besides, if I really want to get some supreme treasure, will I be so miserable? The next moment, the little skeleton said something faintly again. Hearing what the little skull said, Yi Chen couldn't help but have no way to refute. It seems to make sense. Could it be that I guessed wrong? Where do we go now? Immediately afterwards, the little skeleton asked a more critical question. Well, walk around, wherever you go. After hesitating for a moment, Yi Chen answered irresponsibly, regarding Yi Chen's words. The little skeleton didn't know what to say. In the little skull's heart, Yi Chen is a weirdo. Are there still people in the world of cultivating immortals who don't practice cultivation all day long and only think about eating, drinking and having fun? The key is this person still a monster from a top sect? What Yi Chen didn't know was that because of his image stone, the entire eastern region was now in turmoil. After the incident reached the imperial capital behind Evil Spirit City, the contents of the Shadow Stone were leaked out for some unknown reason. As a result, countless forces and casual cultivators flocked to the Evil Spirit Forest, the ultimate treasure. The #1 divine sword in the world of immortality. These 2 points are enough to drive everyone completely crazy. Even though the Evil Spirit Forest is a famous forbidden area, normally no one dares to go in. However, as the saying goes, wealth are risky, right? Unknowingly, Yi Chen and Little Skeleton had traveled hundreds of miles. At this time, they were far away from the Evil Spirit City and came to an endless bamboo forest. After looking at the scene of the scorching sun in the sky, one person and one skeleton decided to sit in front of the bamboo forest and rest. Yi Chen, why don't we go to the Evil Spirit Forest? Aren't you interested in the supreme treasure? The little skeleton standing next to Yi Chen suddenly asked curiously. Not interested. Crossing his legs, half squinting his eyes, and resting his head on his hands, Yi Chen yawned and replied lazily. Then you asked just now. I'm just curious if you got that supreme treasure. The little skeleton realized that it could no longer continue talking nonsense with Yi Chen. This guy's thinking is really a little too jumpy. Just do whatever you want. Are you interested in treasures? How about I take you back? Opening his eyes and taking a look at the little skeleton, Yi Chen asked with a smile. Roll. I am so weak, why should I go there to die? After hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton said angrily. Ding Xianxia, who finally returned to the thief gate, was stunned. The entire sect evacuates immediately. Is that what the adult meant? What he did in the Lord's mansion of Evil Spirit City has been spread. Is the Empire ready to take action on the thief gate? Seeing the strange looks in the eyes of everyone in the thief sect, Ding Xianxia couldn't help but lower his head. In his heart, he hated Yi Chen so much. It's definitely because of that bastard. Otherwise, why does the picture of the Shadow Stone have a confrontation between himself and Huang Yinhua, but not the boy and the little skeleton? Ding Xianxia didn't think this could be a coincidence. Master, Looking at the old woman with white hair and childish face in front of him, Ding Xianxia wanted to explain something. Unfortunately, he was interrupted before he finished speaking. You should keep these words for adults. I'm not interested in this. The old woman glanced at Ding Xianxia and said lightly. Hearing the old woman's words, Ding Xianxia's pupils couldn't help but shrink slightly. At the same time, he felt like there was a light on his back. He hated Yi Chen even more. It's all this kid's fault. It was not that he had never thought about escaping, but when he saw the master of the thief sect watching eagerly from the side, he gave up the idea. Dao Sect also received this news at the first time. The Evil Spirit Forest has supreme treasures. And the first magic sword in the world of immortal cultivation. The first reaction of the headmaster Jun Wuxie was to gather the top leaders of Dao Sect together. Regardless of whether the news is true or false, he plans to send people to the Evil Spirit Forest to investigate. Dao Sect may not get the treasure, but the treasure must not fall into the hands of other forces. This is Jun Wuxie's idea. The top forces in the East region also hold the same idea. As for those forces below the top forces, they have fantasies and hope to get the supreme treasure to soar to the sky. After arranging everything, Jun Wuxie came to Xuanjizi's thatched cottage again. Master Uncle, I wonder what you think about the treasure. Looking at Xuanjizi, Jun Wuxie asked carefully. Treasure? I don't know if there is treasure in the Evil Spirit Forest, but it is enough to destroy the Sanxian realm. Dao Zong can just pretend to do it, let other forces fight for it. Looking at Jun Wuxie, Xuanjizi said lightly. Yes. Jun Wuxie nodded thoughtfully after a pause. He always believed in Xuanjizi's words, because Xuanjizi is one of the 4 great fortune tellers in the world of immortal cultivation. It's right to listen to him. But, there is one thing that makes Jun Wuxie very puzzled. why did the great grandmaster never calculate Uncle Yi? Until now, the people of Dao Zong are still looking for his whereabouts. How are the geniuses who went down the mountain to train? After thinking about it, Xianxia asked again. No death has occurred yet. Also, we still can't find Uncle Yi. Jun Wuxia blurted out without thinking. I know. Go and do your thing. Nodding, Xianxia said expressionlessly. Yes. After saying that, Jun Wuxia's figure suddenly disappeared from the spot, and Xianxia fell into deep thought. For some reason, he always felt that the treasure this time was related to Yi Chen. Chapter 35, Give the Little Skeleton Wings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In front of the endless bamboo forest, looking at Yi Chen's busy figure, the little skeleton was stunned. What is this kid doing? Are you busy with a few formation discs? It seems like they are assembling something. Yi Chen, what are you doing? After a long time passed, the little skeleton couldn't help but ask. I will put together a flying formation to support you. Otherwise, do you still expect me to carry you flying all day long? Without turning his head, Yi Chen replied angrily. Flying formation? Is there any flying formation in this world? Hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton was a little confused. There is a reason why it asks this question, because, before this, it really had never heard of the flying formation. There are quite a few flying magic weapons in the world of immortality cultivation. After a cultivator reaches the golden elixir stage, he can fly with a sword. Why do you need a flying formation? Moreover, all formations require the consumption of spiritual stones. Isn't this tasteless? It didn't exist before, but doesn't it exist now? Standing up slowly, Yi Chen said lightly. Here it is. Later, Yi Chen handed a special formation disc to the little skull. Why is it special? Because this formation disc is composed of several formation discs, it looks like a pair of mechanical wings. Just put it on your back. This is a flight formation that combines attack and defense with flight. It consists of several level 4 formations and one level 5 formation. As he spoke, Yi Chen showed a painful expression on his face. Yi Chen, I'm telling you. I'm a poor little skeleton, don't try to take advantage of me. After taking the formation plate, he put the little skeleton on his back, looked at Yi Chen and said warily. In an instant, the array disc-like mechanical wings fell on the back of the little skeleton and merged directly with its back. From a distance, the little skeleton looks like it has a pair of wings. Look at your picky look. Rolling his eyes, Yi Chen said angrily. After saying that, Yi Chen threw a space ring to the little skeleton. What was inside was the low-grade spiritual stone looted from Lin Yang. To be precise, Yi Chen gave all of the hundreds of millions of low-grade spiritual stones to the little skeleton. On the contrary, there were thousands of mid-grade spiritual stones, hundreds of high-grade spiritual stones, and more than 10 top-grade spiritual stones, which Yi Chen kept. He plans to keep these as the energy source for making advanced formations and array discs later. These hundreds of millions of low-grade spiritual stones are enough for Little Skull's flying formation to run for a long time. As for the remaining messy things, Xiaoqi has already taken care of them. After receiving the space ring, the Little Skull was secretly moved. It understood that Yi Chen had given almost all the spiritual stones to him, those very few spirit stones above the middle grade. This guy probably has no use in keeping them, right? Yi Chen, thank you, Looking up at Yi Chen, the Little Skull said in a sincere tone. However, it was interrupted by Yi Chen before it finished speaking. Stop it. Can you please stop being so sensational? Glancing at the little skeleton, Yi Chen said dumbfounded. Let's test the formation of this array first. Pointing to the wings on the back of the little skeleton, Yi Chen said something else. Okay. Nodding, a dim light of several colors suddenly appeared on the back of the little skeleton. The next moment, the little skeleton soared into the sky. In the sky, there were also energy light waves like cannonballs. Hey! This is a bit like those laser cannons on Earth before time travel. Looking at the sky, Yi Chen said to himself with a proud look on his face. A long time passed before the little skeleton returned to Yi Chen. Damn it! This uncle has opened his eyes. Yi Chen, you are really a formation wizard. Can several level 4 formation discs and a level 5 formation disc be combined into a brand new formation disc and a new formation? The key is that the comprehensive ability of this formation is even more powerful than some level 6 formations. The flying speed is comparable to half a step into the divine stage. Defense and attack power are as good as half a step to the nascent soul stage. Strong. Too strong. I really don't know how you did it. Looking at Yi Chen, the little skull's tone was full of shock. Because I'm a genius. Grinning, Yi Chen said with a stinking look on his face. Hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton rarely refuted Yi Chen this time. It even felt that genius was no longer enough to describe Yi Chen. Not long ago, Yi Chen easily broke through a level 4 formation, and also used several level 4 and 5 formations to easily break through a level 6 formation by Ding Qinxiu. Now, a powerful new formation has been combined. This kid is nothing short of a monster. You know, generally speaking, if a formation master wants to arrange a 4th level formation and make a corresponding formation disc, he must at least be at the nascent soul stage. If you want to arrange a 5th level formation and make a trustworthy formation, you must at least be in the divine transformation stage, but the kid in front of me doesn't seem to be bound by this law at all. In the golden elixir stage, you can easily mess with these at will, so monstrous. But why doesn't he practice well? Why don't you study the formation carefully? This guy is good at everything, but he's just a little too lazy. Next, are we really going to wander around aimlessly? After a long silence, the little skeleton asked tentatively. Yes. Experience, isn't it just wandering around? Occasionally being chased by someone, and occasionally chasing others. Nodding gently, Yi Chen said confidently. You see it clearly. With great difficulty, the little skeleton said this. Originally, it was ready to refute Yi Chen, but think about it seriously, isn't that the case? The so-called experience, to put it bluntly, is fighting and killing. Only those who survive to the end can talk about other things. With Yi Chen's high-profile style, where can he not attract hatred? Isn't this a disguised passive experience? Just like before in the evil spirit city. Soon, the two reached a consensus that everything would be discussed after passing through the endless bamboo forest in front of them. After entering the bamboo forest, Yi Chen and the little skeleton looked at each other involuntarily, because this place is so weird. When I was outside, the bamboo forest was still emerald green. How come after I walked in, the bamboos around me turned a faint blood color? And there was a faint miasma around. Little skeleton, what is this place? Yi Chen asked subconsciously. How do I know? How long have I been trapped in the evil spirit forest? Spreading his hands, the little skeleton replied unhappily. Anyway, I think there is something wrong here. Then, it said another sentence. Hearing its words, Yi Chen nodded in agreement. Chapter 36 Mysterious Fantasy Beast. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After looking around, Yi Chen couldn't help but frown. He found that after walking around with the little skeleton, he actually walked back to the same place. However, there were no formation fluctuations around. This is strange. Yi Chen, I know what's going on. Now we are in trouble. Suddenly, the little skull said in a bitter tone. How to say? Hearing the words of the little skull, Yi Chen was stunned. I'm afraid, this bamboo forest is not a bamboo forest at all, but an illusion. We are now in the illusion of a fantasy beast. Sighing, the little skeleton said quietly. After hearing its words, Yi Chen's face became a little ugly. Phantom. Fantasy. So, are there really phantom beasts around? Regarding fantasy beasts, Yi Chen had read some related classics when he was in Daozong. Rumor has it that there are not many types of fantasy beasts in the world. The quantity is also very rare. However, when they are born, they are usually at the lowest level of nascent soul stage. What they are good at is not fighting, but creating various illusions and illusions to kill enemies invisibly. Generally speaking, their combat effectiveness is at the level of 5 scum. My body is so weak and pitiful. It is also because of this that their true bodies are often hidden and protected in the illusions they create. So, we must find its identity. Otherwise we will be trapped and die here. Yi Chen frowned and asked. Yes. Nodding, the little skeleton replied, after patting his forehead. Chen observed carefully, he wanted to see what was different around him. Where will the phantom beasts that create illusions hide? He doesn't want to be trapped and die in here. Similarly, the little skeleton on the side also observed carefully, whether it's Chen or Little Skull, they all understand, the only thing they can do now is to find the true form of the phantom beast. Otherwise, they just wander around in circles. What's more, welcome the various phantom attacks from the phantom beasts. What Chen didn't know was that at this moment, a group of people also came to the bamboo forest. One of the people at the front of the crowd was an old acquaintance of his, Xianxia. There is no doubt that this group of people is the members of the thief sect who passed by here, in other words, the group of thieves who escaped to this area. Wait, after taking a look at the bamboo forest, the old woman, the master of the thief sect, waved her hand and ordered with a frown. Yes, after hearing his words, everyone stopped in unison, including Xianxia. Master, what's wrong? Looking at the old woman in confusion, Xianxia asked. The others also looked at the old woman intently. They also felt very incomprehensible about this. Aren't all the thieves running away now? Why didn't you leave suddenly? There's something wrong with this bamboo forest, but I can't tell you what's wrong. After thinking for a while, the master of the thief sect said slowly. After hearing her words, everyone couldn't help but look at each other. Something's wrong with this bamboo forest. How is that possible? Isn't this an ordinary bamboo forest? They have existed for thousands of years, right? Although they have never entered a bamboo forest, they still know this bamboo forest. However, since this place is relatively remote, not many people would go out of their way to enter this endless bamboo forest. The reason why they came here was to escape for their lives, specifically running to places with few people. In the bamboo forest, the little skeleton couldn't help but start complaining about Chen. Chen, you say you. It's okay to run to these deserted directions. Are you okay now? Sitting next to Chen, little skeleton felt very depressed now. Please. How do I know I will encounter a fantasy beast? Besides, I didn't run here on purpose. I just agreed to wander around. Of course, I have to keep my head in one direction. Wherever I go, I'll take care of myself. Putting his head on his hands and lying on the ground with his legs crossed, Chen said lazily. Hearing Chen's words, the little skeleton couldn't help but be speechless. It makes sense. However, for Chen's unreliable behavior, it felt a burst of contempt in its heart. This guy is just too casual. Haven't you lived for hundreds of thousands of years? Don't you have a way to crack it? Looking sideways at the little skeleton, Chen asked casually. I have lived for countless years, but now I don't have any energy or anything in my body. What can I do? You, on the other hand, are so calm. Did you find something? Or do you really not want to go out? Glancing at Chen suspiciously, the little skeleton said a little depressed. I think it won't take long before I can catch that phantom beast. Grinning, Chen said nonchalantly. How is that possible? Hearing Chen's words, the little skeleton said in disbelief, catch the phantom beast. Are you kidding me? Now, they don't even know where the shadow of the fantasy beast is, okay? If you don't believe me, throw me down. Taking out the wine bottle, taking a sip of wine, Chen said calmly. After a pause, the little skeleton fell silent. Is it true? If someone else said that, it would think that the other person was bragging, but Chen is another matter. This kid is a bit weird. What if he really knows where the phantom beast is hidden? With Chen's personality, he should not be bothered to brag, right? Geniuses are very proud. Besides, this kid is a genius among geniuses. At this moment, Xiaoqi suddenly appeared on Chen's chest without any signs. Seeing Xiaoqi, the little skeleton seemed to guess something. Hiss. You won't let Xiaoqi catch the phantom beast, will you? Chen, I think you are crazy. Xiaoqi has no fighting power. You. Standing up, the little skeleton said a little excitedly. Obviously, it didn't want Xiaoqi to take risks. However, before it finished speaking, it was interrupted by Chen. Why not? Isn't the phantom beast also a weakling? With Xiaoqi's ability, it shouldn't be difficult to find it. It can't do anything to Xiaoqi. When the time comes. When he said this, Chen grinned, controlling a phantom beast. It seems not bad. This is simply a weapon that kills people invisibly. After hearing what Chen said, the little skeleton was stunned. After Chen said this, it also felt that Chen's plan was very feasible. With Xiaoqi's ability to travel through space, the phantom beast might really have no way to deal with it. Otherwise, why do we say that time is supreme and space is king? The phantom beast's illusion is probably meaningless to Xiaoqi, right? Meow. After rubbing Chen's face affectionately, Xiaoqi's figure disappeared immediately. Obviously, it went to look for the phantom beast. Chapter 37 Little Black Turtle. Black Tortoise. Another top-notch item. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen didn't have to wait long before Xiaoqi came back. It flew and landed on the top of a short bamboo in front of Chen. In Xiaoqi's left front paw, there was a black turtle that was as big as a fist. This black turtle had only 2 scales on its body. And it was full of holes and holes. Hey! Hey! I was wrong. Can I admit defeat? Let's go our separate ways. Okay. That what shocked Chen was that this black turtle actually spoke human language. It was a voice of an adult man that sounded a bit vulgar. Fuck. This little turtle has become a spirit. Looking at the black turtle, the little skeleton said in shock. You are the little bastard. Your whole family is little bastards. I am Xuanwu. Does Xuanwu understand? Stretching out his little head and widening his small eyes like green beans, the black turtle looked at the little skeleton fiercely in a humane way. TSK. Xuanwu is one of the 4 great beasts after all. How can he be as wretched as you? Surveying the black turtle, the little skeleton said with contempt. You. Hearing the words of the little skeleton, the black turtle was so angry that he didn't know what to say. Rolling his little eyes, it looked at Chen eagerly. The black turtle understood that the harmless-looking boy in front of him was the one who could make the decision. Sir, I was wrong. Let me go, okay? Looking at Chen, the little turtle asked tentatively. If I remember correctly, you seemed to want to kill us not long ago, right? Looking at the black turtle with a smile, Chen asked with a fake smile. Misunderstanding. Hee hee. This is all misunderstanding. Didn't the flood flush the Dragon King temple? The black turtle shrank his head and explained awkwardly. However, before the black turtle finished speaking, he was interrupted by Chen. Now you have only 2 choices, either become my spiritual pet or kill you. Looking at the black turtle calmly, Chen said lightly, in fact, at this moment, Chen's heart was already blossoming with joy. Can I have a fantasy beast? TSK. Thinking about it, he was secretly happy in his heart. No. I am Xuanwu, The first time, the black turtle hurriedly shook his head and was about to refuse. Meow. However, the next moment it decisively shut up, because Xiaoqi bared his teeth and stared at it. The black turtle was so scared that it retracted its head and 4 claws into the tortoise shell. Don't play dead. Make your choice quickly. Otherwise, I'll make you Xiaoqi's food. Looking at the black turtle with amusement, Chen said slowly. Surrender. Is it okay for me to surrender? It has to be said that compared with the little skeleton, this black turtle is even more shameless. Suddenly, it stretched out its limbs and little head. Looking up at Chen, the black turtle's tone was full of resentment. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. That cat is too scary. I don't want to die. Then, it said again in shock. Seeing this, Chen and the little skeleton looked at each other. They were really curious. What did Xiaoqi do to the black turtle? Scare it like this? TSK. It's really interesting. After that, a drop of purple blood flew out of the turtle's head. After a moment of shock, Chen squeezed the tip of his right index finger, and a drop of red blood flew out. Instantly, the 2 drops of blood merged together, forming 2 strange ancient tadpole-shaped patterns that fell on Chen's eyebrows and the head of the black turtle. Until now, Chen knew. The black turtle was actually a magical beast in the god transformation stage. It has stayed in this place for more than 3,000 years. Master. Why didn't they sign a contract? Isn't this bullying? That the little head looked at Xiaoqi, then looked at the little skeleton, and the black turtle said indignantly. Xiaoqi is my family. As for the little skeleton, it helped me. Who told you to kill me? Xiaohei, well, you will be called Xiaohei from now on. Xiaohei, just accept your fate. After looking at the black turtle, Chen said with a smile. Fuck. Who did I offend? Woo woo woo. Can't I let the turtle live? I can't stay here and still suffer an unexpected disaster. It's okay to become a human spirit pet, but I have such an ugly name. It's really embarrassing for the Xuanwu clan. I have to say it. It has to be Xiaohei. This guy actually started crying, very decisively. Chen threw it into his inner world, as the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. However, the next moment, Chen's face was full of black lines. He finally understood that Xiaohei was a top-notch one. A top-notch one that is even more top-notch than the little skeleton. After entering Chen's inner world, Xiaohei actually started to celebrate. I'm rich. I'm rich. All kinds of spirit plants from level 1 to 5. There are also level 6 spirit plants in the growth stage. Level 7 seedlings, level 8 sprouts, level 9 seeds. Gaga. Seeing this, Chen began to regret it a little. He actually signed an equal spirit pet contract with such a top-grade pet and made it his own spirit pet. Isn't it too embarrassing? However, the next moment, Chen's heart was balanced again. It seems that Xiaoqi is a little protective of food. Seeing Xiaohei yelling at those spirit plants, it instantly flew into the small world in its body, chasing Xiaohei and beating him wildly. Xiaoqi. Sister Qi. Sister Qi. I was wrong, no, I was wrong, no, I was wrong, isn't it okay if I was wrong? Besides being speechless, Chen didn't know what to say. TSK TSK TSK. Chen. I remember it. This Xiaohei, I'm afraid he really has a complicated origin. Purple blood. And the contract rune you just signed, who knows, it might really be a Xuanwu beast. Or, has a trace of Xuanwu blood. Aside, the little skeleton who was lost in thought suddenly said in amazement. How fresh. Snakes also have a trace of dragon blood. Rolling his eyes, Chen said unhappily, Xiaohei is the Xuanwu beast. This, Chen would never believe it. How could a dignified divine beast be so wretched? So spineless? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Hearing Chen's words, the little skeleton was speechless. It seems that what Chen said makes some sense. In fact, in his heart, the little skeleton did not think that Xiaohei was the Xuanwu beast. The main reason is that Xiaohei is too shameless, too extreme. How could a divine beast be like this? Chapter 38 Horrifying Illusion, Killing the Enemy Invisibly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaohei, come out. Break this illusion quickly. After looking around, Chen lazily ordered. Okay master. In an instant, Xiaohei appeared on Chen's shoulder. However, its next action made Chen almost throw it away. Oh. Too bad. This guy actually spits. A thick black liquid the size of a thumb flew directly out of its mouth. In an instant, the boundless bamboo forest all around disappeared. Xiaohei seemed to sense that something was wrong with Chen's expression, and he returned to the small world inside Chen's body again. Regarding Xiaohei's actions, Chen's face was full of black lines. The little skeleton on the side had already stopped laughing. I am laughing so hard. Ha! Xiaohei is the best. However, the little skeleton's laughter soon stopped. Not far in front of it and Chen, there was a large group of people standing. The leader is the old woman from the Divine Thief Sect, and beside her is Ding Qianxiu. Seeing the sudden disappearance of the bamboo forest, everyone in the Thief Sect was a little unable to recover. The result is that someone is completely tragic. The black liquid spit out by Xiao Hei fell directly on Ding Qianqiu's face. Ha ha ha, this time, the little skeleton was laughing so much that he rolled on the ground. Is it you? After giving Yi Chen a sinister look, wiping away the disgusting things on his face, Ding Qianqiu said something with murderous intent on his face. As the saying goes, enemies are extremely jealous when they meet. When he saw Yi Chen again, Ding Qianqiu wanted to tear him into pieces. If this kid hadn't been meddling in other people's business, would the thief sect have run away? Do you need to be worried? Thinking of this, Ding Qianqiu's murderous intention became even stronger. Ding Qianqiu, is this the guy who ruined our plan? Looking sideways at Ding Qianqiu, the old woman asked. Her face also became extremely gloomy. Yes, master, nodding, Ding Qianqiu replied. It's me. Is there a problem? After looking at Ding Qianqiu, Yi Chen said lightly, then, he glanced at the thieves' clan curiously. What? Are you, the thieves, running away? Immediately afterwards, Yi Chen asked which pot he would not open or lift. His face was filled with a joking smile. Kill him. Taking a deep breath, the old woman ordered coldly. Boy! You should feel lucky. This is the first time that Zhang Lulan has wanted to kill someone so much. After saying that, the old woman took a step back. That's exactly what I meant. Having said that, Ding Qianqiu was about to take action. The others tacitly formed a circle of encirclement, surrounding Yi Chen and the little skeleton layer by layer. From the beginning to the end, Yi Chen never moved even half a step, or even had any intention of moving at all. The little skeleton stood behind Yi Chen warily. If it were before, facing such a large crowd of people in front of him, Yi Chen would still choose to run away. Ding Qianqiu is okay, he is only in the early stage of the second heaven of the divine transformation stage. Yi Chen is confident that he can still fight head-on. At most, both sides will suffer losses, but Zhang Lulan is at the late fourth level of the divine transformation stage, a head-on confrontation with her. Yi Chen is not that unreasonable. Now, that will be different. Who made him suddenly have an interesting spiritual pet? Xiao Hei. Master, I'm here. Without Yi Chen's instructions at all, in an instant, an illusion enveloped everyone. This is a battlefield full of boundless killing. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chen and the little skeleton disappeared on the spot. When they appeared again, they had landed several miles away. As expected of a fantasy beast, it is indeed powerful. Next to Yi Chen, the little skeleton said in a stunned tone. Really? Yi Chen nodded slightly and said with deep approval, I saw that everyone in the thief sect seemed to be possessed. They started fighting each other crazily. Even Ding Qianqiu and Zhang Lulan fought each other. That's right. My illusion is no joke. On Yi Chen's shoulder, Xiao Hei smiled proudly. You two monsters are the only ones who are fine. Then, it looked at Yi Chen and the little skeleton faintly. Isn't it normal for me to be okay? I don't even have a soul. Can illusion work on me? Looking up at Xiao Hei, the little skull said contemptuously. Yi Chen, on the other hand, smiled and said nothing. He knew why he was okay. My soul is probably 10 or 100 times more powerful than ordinary people, right? No wonder. After hearing what little skull said, Xiao Hei said something in sudden enlightenment. As for why Yi Chen was not affected, Xiao Hei knows it all. The moment he signed the contract, he felt how powerful Yi Chen's soul was. It is simply outrageously powerful. In fact, it even suspected that it was not a human being, but a god-level soul beast that had transformed into a human form. How could the human soul be so strong? Also, how come the master's golden elixir is so big? I have to say that Xiao Hei's illusion skills are really not that terrifying. In less than a stick of incense time, all except the main and deputy sect masters of the thieves sect were revealed. The others fell into a pool of blood and turned into corpses. Seeing this scene, Yi Chen's pupils shrank slightly, worthy of being a fantasy beast. It really kills people invisibly. Yi Chen was secretly shocked in his heart. Xiao Hei, what is the power of your illusion now? Touching his chin, Yi Chen suddenly asked. Invincible below the Mahayana stage. As for encountering the Mahayana stage, I can only run away. Hesitating for a while, Xiaohei said a little disappointed. Sometimes I really envy you humans, you can become so strong in such a short time of cultivation. Then, Xiaohei said with deep emotion, hearing Xiaohei's words, Yi Chen's eyes lit up, invincible below the Mahayana stage. So, he inexplicably had an extra super strong thug. Ha! Thinking about it, he was very happy in his heart. As for Xiaohei's last sentence, it was directly ignored by Yi Chen. Envy humans? Humans also envy countless races. You know, to some extent, humans are the weakest among all races. In just a short while, the arrogant Ding Qianxiu was killed by Zhang Lulan with a sword. Seeing the blood flowing like a river not far away, Yi Chen couldn't help but shook his head secretly. Why bother to provoke me? Yi Chen muttered to himself. With a calm look on his face, Zhang Lulan was the only one left, and the illusion had already failed. Seeing the scene around her, Zhang Lulan was dumbfounded. What's going on? Wait. Could it be? Was it all an illusion just now? Thinking of this possibility, Zhang Lulan looked at Yi Chen in doubt, looked at the little skeleton. As for the little black guy on Yi Chen's shoulder, she ignored him directly. Chapter 39, Spoils of War, The Wealth of a Second-Rate Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. An ugly little turtle, with no fluctuations in cultivation, what's worth noting? This is what Zhang Lulan thought. Boy, you're dead. Staring at Yi Chen's face fiercely, Zhang Lulan's face showed a ferocious murderous intent. At this moment, she was about to go completely crazy. In less than half an hour, she was the only one left in the thief sect. What she couldn't accept the most was that the thief sect died at the hands of their own people, died in cannibalism. That's what Ding Qianxiu said before, but unfortunately he has gone to hell. Pouting, Yi Chen said with contempt. You. Hearing Yi Chen's words, Zhang Lulan was really angry. However, for a while, she really didn't dare to act rashly. Mainly, what happened just now was too weird. Fantasy beast. She actually encountered the legendary fantasy beast. Subconsciously, Zhang Lulan looked at the little skeleton again. Seeing Zhang Lulan's eyes and her expression, the little skeleton was amused. So, did she think of herself as a fantasy beast? Yi Chen's face remained calm. Xiaohei, kill her. Picking up the wine pot, Yi Chen took a sip of wine and ordered casually. Yes, master. Without any hesitation, Xiaohei attacked again. This time, it was even more exaggerated. Zhang Lulan didn't even have a chance to react, and she fell to the ground with blood flowing from all 7 orifices and turned into a corpse. Her eyes were wide open, as if she saw something terrible. Xiaohei is good. Well done. I'm optimistic about you. Looking up at Xiaohei on Yi Chen's shoulder, the little skeleton said carelessly. Then, it consciously went to clean up the spoils. Seeing the little skeleton so active, Yi Chen was slightly stunned. In his eyes, he unconsciously revealed a thoughtful look. What is the little skeleton doing? In fact, there is a reason why the little skeleton is so active, because the appearance of Xiaohei made it feel a sense of crisis. Xiaoqi. Yi Chen treated it as a family member. Xiaohei. He can help Yi Chen a lot. But himself? It seems that except for quarreling, he is really useless. Staying with Yi Chen, the little skeleton feels pretty good. It doesn't want to leave Yi Chen in the end because it is too useless. This is not what it wants to see, so, the little skeleton thinks that it should play a role. After a while, the little skeleton came back with a lot of space rings. Anyway, I'm free, let's count the spoils, Yi Chen said with a smile. Hee hee. This is what I mean. I think so too. Very tacitly, the little skeleton and Xiaohei echoed in unison. Then, one person, one skeleton and one turtle began to count. It must be said that the thief sect is really rich. They contributed billions of low-grade spirit stones alone. There are millions of middle-grade spirit stones. There are more than 100,000 high-grade spirit stones. There are tens of thousands of top-grade spirit stones. In addition, there are various kinds of elixirs, spirit plants, materials and other things from the 1st to 6th grades, piled up like mountains. Damn it. I'm rich. I'm really rich. Fuck. I haven't seen such a huge fortune in many years. Not bad. Not bad. It's worthy of the wealth of a second-rate sect. I don't have to worry about spirit stones for a long time. Seeing the various things piled up in front of them, a man, a skeleton and a turtle were all laughing, in the end, because there were too many things. Chen didn't want to take too many space rings. All these things were thrown into the small world in his body. The little skeleton picked out some of the things he needed and smiled contentedly. As for Xiaohei, he had already run into Chen's small world. In its words, it wanted to see if it could eat something to evolve. Chen, why don't you keep some pills? Just look at Xiaoqi and Xiaohei's pills. Looking up at Chen, the little skeleton asked in confusion. Chen is not interested in various materials, but the little skeleton can understand. After all, it is really useless for a while. It is normal for Chen to look down on the first to third grade pills. In the Jindan period, pills below the fourth grade are no longer useful, but what about pills above the fourth grade? There are quite a few among the spoils of the thief sect, right? This kid doesn't keep any. Even if he came out of Dao's sect and brought a lot of pills, who would complain about too much? But Chen, you call that a pill? I'm afraid I'll get a stomachache. After saying that, Chen had a look of disgust on his face. There is a reason why he is so disgusted. Among the pills of the thief sect, some of the first grade pills are of perfect grade, but the higher you go, the lower the grade. When it comes to 5th grade elixirs, they are simply garbage, and at best they are only of the 5th grade middle quality. 6th grade elixirs are barely elixirs, and of the lowest quality among the lower grades. Can this also be called an elixir? In Chen's eyes, this is just a pile of garbage, a waste of materials. Seeing Chen's expression and hearing his words, the little skeleton was stunned. What does this guy mean? You are a full man who doesn't know the hunger of a hungry man. Just those pills, if they are put in the outside world, do you believe that they can set off a bloody storm? Looking up at Chen, the little skeleton said unhappily. Wait. You are not going to tell me that you can also make pills? Suddenly thinking of a possibility, the little skeleton asked in doubt. Yes. What's wrong? Is it difficult to make pills? Spreading his hands, Chen said as a matter of course. Hearing Chen's words, the flames in the depths of the little skeleton's eye socket stopped beating. At the same time, it also felt a suffocation. Is this kid in front of him still a human? No need to practice all day. It seems that his cultivation has never fallen behind. A genius in formation. Comprehended 3 artistic conceptions. Now, he actually told me that he can make pills. And it seems that his alchemy level is not bad. Suddenly, the little skeleton began to understand why Chen was the first demon of Dao's sect. If this person is not a demon, then who is? He also began to understand why Dao's sect did not give Chen anything when he came out to train. With this kid's talent, giving him too many things, his personality is really not good. This kid is really too lazy. If those so-called geniuses and demons compare with you, they will probably be angry to death. It was not easy for the little skeleton to say this, let alone others. The little skeleton himself was a little hit. There is no way, Chen is really a demon. If this guy is very hardworking, it's okay, but he is so lazy all day long. Is this the legendary god chasing and feeding him? Chapter 48 Treasure Map from more than 100,000 years ago. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How tiring is it to compare with this and that all day long? People, just compare with yourself. Shaking his head, Chen said speechlessly. When he said this, a petite figure and a stunning face appeared in Chen's mind involuntarily. Yang Chu Chu. It seems that this little beauty wants to fight with herself all day long. To prove that she is the first evildoer of Dao's sect. I wonder where this little girl is now. Soon, Chen's thoughts were pulled back to reality. Yes. On the road of cultivating immortals, people still have to compare with themselves. Only by constantly moving forward can they ascend to the sky. There are many people with great perseverance in the world, with mediocre talents, but they finally become top giants. Nodding in agreement, the little skeleton said with deep emotion. You are so lazy, living a life of drunkenness and dreams all day long. It is really a question whether you can become an immortal. Changing the subject, the little skeleton looked at Yi Chen and said meaningfully. I'm not pursuing immortality or anything like that. The world of immortal cultivation is so big, I just want to go around and see it. Isn't it nice to appreciate the beautiful mountains and rivers of the world of immortal cultivation, eat all the delicacies of the world of immortal cultivation, and drink all the fine wines of the world of immortal cultivation? However, Yi Chen's words almost pissed off the little skeleton. The little skeleton was so angry that he just bit on the words. A rotten tree can't be carved. It really pissed me off. Seeing the reaction of the little skeleton and hearing its words, Yi Chen laughed out loud. Little skeleton, little skeleton. What are you in a hurry for? I'm only at the peak of the late 9th level of the Jindan stage now. It's still a long way to go before I can ascend to the immortal world. After taking a sip of wine, Yi Chen laughed dumbly. Hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton was slightly startled, and it was also shocked. At the age of 18, at the peak of the late 9th level of the Jindan stage. Looking at the entire world of immortal cultivation, this kid is an absolute monster, right? The key is that he is also a genius array master. Or an alchemist. After taking a deep look at Yi Chen, the little skeleton completely lost his temper. Yi Chen, how many times the gravity field of your giant sword is acting on you now? After taking a look at the giant sword on Yi Chen's back, the little skeleton couldn't help but ask curiously. 20 times. At this rate, it shouldn't be a problem to double it a day. While using the pill fire to ignite the corpses around, Yi Chen answered casually. Hearing Yi Chen's words, the little skeleton almost bit his jaw. Is this kid's adaptability and attitude a little too strong? Double the gravity field a day? Monster! After taking a deep look at Yi Chen, the little skeleton cursed. Fortunately, I didn't meet this kid when I was practicing. Otherwise, my Tao heart would collapse, right? The little skeleton secretly complained in his heart. Hearing the little skeleton's words, Yi Chen didn't react much. Monster. When he was in Dao's sect, he was tired of hearing this word. Let's go. After saying that, Yi Chen chose to fly up. Wait for me. After shouting, the little skeleton soared into the sky and flew high into the sky. Soon, it lowered its flying altitude to the same height as Yi Chen's. Yi Chen. How did you fly in the air? Isn't it only possible to fly with a sword in the Jindan stage? Or use some flying magic tools? Suddenly thinking of a question, the little skeleton asked in confusion, flying in the air. This, at least requires the Yuanying stage to do it, right? Because I'm a genius. Hearing the little skeleton's words, Yi Chen was stunned and answered with a smile. Instantly, the little skeleton shut up. It couldn't find any rebuttal to Yi Chen's words, because of genius. The little skeleton also secretly swore in his heart that if he saw anything incredible in Yi Chen in the future, he must be calm. This kid can't be viewed with normal eyes. Where are we going next? After a moment of silence, the little skeleton changed the subject and asked. Go to this place. Yi Chen answered, raising the animal hide treasure map in his hand. He found this treasure map in Zhang Lolan space ring. Coincidentally, the place pointed to by the treasure map is not far from where Yi Chen is now. It's only more than 2,000 miles away. It won't take long to travel at full speed. So, Yi Chen wanted to go and have a look anyway. It's okay to be idle, right? The final destination of the treasure map is a desert land, which has already bordered the northern border. Okay. After hesitating for a while, the little skeleton nodded. He has also seen this treasure map, and, at that time, he also expressed his opinion, that is, the treasure map may be a little unreliable, or it can be said that you can't have too high expectations. The main reason is that the age of this treasure map is really too old. In the words of the little skeleton, the treasure map has existed for at least more than 100,000 years, with the vicissitudes of life, whether the destination of the treasure map is still there is a question, whether the treasure has been obtained by someone long ago is another question. Otherwise, why did Zhang Lulan keep the treasure map until now? Perhaps she didn't find the destination either. However, its idea is the same as Yi Chen's anyway. It's idle. Why not go and take a look? It's good to try your luck. Just less than half a day after Chen and the little skeleton flew, another group of people came to where they were originally. They stopped moving forward and put out the fire, burning the corpses around. Sir. These are the people from the thief sect. They have been wiped out. The bodies of Zhang Lulan and Ding Qianxiu are also among them. That a big man in silver armor walked up to a thin middle-aged man in a golden brocade robe and reported. I know. What a waste, who can't do anything but make trouble. Nodding, the middle-aged frowned and cursed. Then, what do we do next? The big man looked at the middle-aged man inquiringly and asked cautiously. Continue to the evil spirit forest. Also, have someone investigate the reason for the extermination of the thief sect. Find out who did it. Also, the guy who destroyed our plan must not be let go. As for the evil spirit city, there are people from the imperial capital watching there, so don't act rashly. After thinking for a while, the middle-aged man ordered in an orderly manner. Yes, but while flying in the air and chatting with the little skeleton, Chen observed the small world in his body. It would have been better if he didn't look at it, but he completely lost his temper when he saw it. As expected, the little guy Xiaoqi was eating all kinds of elixirs and materials, and those weapons and so on, all became its rations. Xiaohei, this guy, followed Xiaoqi in a flattering manner, eating some things that Xiaoqi looked down on. Similarly, Xiaohei was not picky about food.